All right, welcome Facebook, welcome YouTube. Long time no see. Who do we have joining? Hey, James. Robert is in, our Connecticut record holder. Nice. I'm assuming the audio is okay. Can you just guys confirm? Brian, hey Brian, how are you? Greg, Steven are in, everybody joining. That's awesome to see. Okay, people popping in on YouTube as well. You can watch on either channel, whatever works for you better. Put the pumpkin spice boilies back. Oh, Jace is in. Simon, welcome guys. Thanks for joining. We have a couple of minutes left. I've been, feverishly preparing for my longer session coming up. So things are kind of ready for some solid fall fishing, I would say. Hey Carl, welcome to the live stream. Today we're gonna have a little bit of everything. We're gonna discuss also a very interesting read that I came across. I got the most recent Carpology magazine, and this topic right there, the definitive guide to boilie fishing. That was a good read. Danny Fairbrass, everybody I think knows who it is. Very good read. We're gonna talk about it a little bit here and there. Hey, Brian is in, welcome. Brian says you got your wasp hangers and mussel boilies. Ah, you're welcome, brother. Which mussel boilies did you get? Did you get the Mussel Supreme, I guess, the hard hookers? Those are phenomenal. I'm taking those this weekend for my trip. And Brad is in on YouTube, and so are others. All right, so should we start slowly? We have a couple of minutes. Let's give it more time. I'm pretty much ready, but let's just wait for a couple of people who are thinking that this is starting exactly at 5 o'clock. Yeah, Brian, I'm glad you got the Mussel Supremes. Those boilies, hard hook baits are working phenomenally well. Simon says he hopes the conversation is not about Lee Hearn Thailand nights. That's Carp Angler After Dark. That's what it is. Alright, where's my agenda for the live stream? Here it is. Okay, let me pop some links open over here. Hold on. All right. So first things first, a little bit of housekeeping. Starting in 3 days, that's your deadline to sign up for Carp Anglers Group Fall Big Four competition. Okay? You got 3 days to sign up because the competition starts on the 1st of the month. Now, I'm going to drop you a link to Carp Anglers Group. Let me see if I can drop that long of a link on YouTube. I cannot. So on YouTube, I cannot drop that link. But Fall Big Four competition is a competition for Carp Anglers Group COG members. As long as you are member in good standing, pay your dues, which is, I think, it's cheap. You pay $12 to enter the competition, and for 2 months, full October and full November, you fish on your own timeline, and then you post the catches on the forum with the weight and a couple of other requirements that will count toward the biggest 4 fish that you catch during those 2 months. And we have a ton of prizes because we are the only ones that are sponsoring this. More than $1,700 in prizes that carpangler.com is donating toward that. There's, gift cards and actual prizes. really sign up, I mean, you're fishing on your own timeline. That's as good as it gets. I dropped you a link on Facebook to the Carp Anglers group, to the topic that explains to you where to click to sign up to be a COG member, and if you are a COG member, where to click to register and pay $12 to partake in the competition. Again, it's 2 months. Be careful, it's addicting as hell. So last year, so thank God I cannot compete really this year. It would be awkward to compete in the competition that we are sponsoring. But last year in fall, I was competing with some streak of luck. I have won the last fall competition, and it was going down to the wire with a couple of guys. So this thing was so addictive, from what I understand. All 2 or 3 extra guys, including me, were just sitting on the bank until, you know, the last day, trying to beat the other guy and win it. That's how close it was. That's how exciting it was. So again, everybody, you got the link to the COG. Take a look at it. $12 if you're already a member, and the prizes are basically doubled from what it was in the past. $1,700 plus. Freaking deal of a lifetime. So we're gonna come back to that. Let's drop the sale, right? So some of you can take care of that. I'll tell you what's up today. So today we have something different on sale. Recently what's been selling a lot is the attractants. So whether it's the liquids or the goop or the stimulants, that's what's been selling recently a lot because everybody is glugging their stuff and soaking it. So I figured, why don't we do some crazy sale on that you're really gonna appreciate. So what we did today is 25% off all attractants, okay? 25. I'm gonna drop you a link to it, okay? So we get those housekeeping items out of the way. That's until midnight today, okay? So you don't have to rush like crazy, but 25% of all the attractants. So that's, you know, that's the amino acid liquids, that's the cocoa berry liquids, that's the boilie dips, you name it, 25% off. It's stupid. So that's a sale that is going on until midnight, right? Sam is asking if I hand deliver to the CCC. Yeah, I can bring your stuff with you if you order. Sure, I'm already bringing some tiger nuts with me and God knows what else. So yeah, if you place the order, I can bring it with me. Just do me a favor during checkout, leave a comment that I will be bringing it in person and something along the lines of do not ship. So in case I'm late to the office tomorrow, the guys can hold their horses and not ship it out. But yeah, if you buy right now, I can bring it to the CCC. So by the way, who's coming to the CCC, guys, up in New York? I know we have 30-something anglers, so it's stocked up just like it was last year. And it was really great event last year. I'm thinking it's going to be even better this year. Greg says that his cocoa berry liquid was just about out. How did you like it, Greg? The cocoa berry liquid. I'm soaking right now, just so you know, because I'm getting ready for the CCC, and I'm getting ready for the weekend. So speaking of that, you know, that's the Ridge Monkey, that modular pot system. I'm soaking my stuff in it already. So I'll tell you what I'm going with to the CCC as hook baits. So that's the Ridge Monkey modular thing. I'm taking end blend. That's what I'm taking is number 1. And I'm soaking them in the end blend boilie dip. Okay, so to make it really high attractant. And the other one that I'm taking with me is cold water green beast. And I'm soaking it also in the boilie dip. So I don't know if you can see it. Let me crack this open. Shit, I just hope I don't spill it. Okay, right there. Those are mine. So those are the end blends that I'm soaking over here. And I have 2 pots of end blends and 2 pots of cold water green beast soaking right here. So I like this modular system. We have it on our website. Just type in pots and you will find it. Doesn't leak. You can hold it upside down. You have 4 pots. You can unscrew whichever one, okay, without going crazy. And oh, and then inside, I don't know if you saw it. They have the basket, so you can kind of, you see, so you can take it out of the liquid. Okay, so that's convenience right there. There you go. Now I smell like end blend, which is not bad. Better than my natural smell. So that's what I'm doing with the for the CCC. We'll see. We'll see how it works. If I don't do good, I'm gonna blame it on the peg, of course, right? And we'll see. The entire Carp Angler gang is coming, really. Lee is coming, Brian is coming, Todd is coming, even James might be showing up. So it's going to be exciting, I think. Simon says, might stop by the shop first, then head over to CCC. So Simon, remember, we are open Monday to Friday, though. So if you're stopping up Friday, that's cool. We're going to be there. But Saturday, we are closed, brother. So that's what I'm fishing with on Saturday at the CCC. Now I wanted to show you something because I was spooling the new line zone for one of the spots that I'm going to. I'm putting this bad boy. I tried it earlier this year. I'm putting this one. Notice the diameter and the breaking strength. 35 pounds. Synapse Wild Carp. So in the spring, I was fishing the lake house in a shitload of weeds. And I have lost a fish or two over there in the weeds. So did Lee. Lee was with me. He also lost a banger in the weeds. You know? Kind of spooled him all the way to the weeds and then it was just too much. So I had one rod with the 35-pound mono. This one. This sucker is so abrasion resistant. And remember, there are a lot of zebra mussels in that water. I had no problem pulling fish out of there. With the weeds, without the weeds, okay, it was just going like butter. So I spooled that one on all 3 reels. And that's what I'm going to be starting with, I think, when I go to Connecticut over the weekend. So we'll see. This is going to be exciting. Brian says that CCC is going to be a great time. It sure will be. And Sam, yes, post the pegs. It's about time. I wanted to see them. Well, Brad is fishing the Connecticut River right now with the Green Beast. So, listen, Glagget, get the Green Beast liquid. It's actually a little bit green in color, but once you pour it over, it seems to be clear. But it has that greenish hue to it. I don't know if it was on purpose or not. But yeah, you want that high attractant stuff slowly coming up as the water is getting colder and colder. All right, so that's the CCC. Remember, you got the sale for 25% all of the attractants. By the way, the one boilie dip from DT Baits is enough for 3 of those pots to fill them up. So just so you know, volume-wise, it's a lot. Ooh, I have some cool updates for you guys. So you know we've been working on more leads, right? Ever since the lead gate happened, right? Everybody, I think, knows what the lead gate was. We were working on development of 3 more leads, right? 2 of them, I got the samples. They have been given green light, and they are in production right now. So I think it's going to be late fall that we're going to have them here, but I have the samples so I can show you. So you know, guys, that we've been, very proud of the quality of the LEDs that we've been doing, right? The coating, the swivel mechanisms, if I'm talking about the swivel LEDs, or the insert for the inline, we wanted to make the best of the best in the business and still sell them over $2 a piece, right? So I'll show you the most recent. So the distance LEDs, we have them that are perfectly oval, right? So now we were working on the distance LED that has, chopped edges, right? So this is one of them, and I'm gonna show you that. Okay, so this. Look at this. So we have our Carp Angler logo on it, right? And then what we decided to do is we put the weight in both. Ounces and grams. You see? But look at the quality of that sucker. So this is one of them. Obviously we have them in many different sizes, right? But those distance LEDs are one LED. The other one, however, that I am even more excited about is, you guys remember the Corda big gripper LEDs? Those were always my favorite, okay? When I used to go back in the day to get them from the other store, I was in love with them. I was buying them out, especially before the tournaments. So what we did is we have a crap load of sizes approved. So I'll show you this. So we have them. The biggest one is, not kidding, okay? The biggest one is 10 ounces. And this is the LED. Look at this. Carp Angler right there. Swivel LED, of course. 10 ounces. You got ounces and grams. Look at the quality of that coating. I mean, this is stupid. So we have them in 10 ounces. We have them in 8 ounces, 6, 5, 4. We have 3 ounces. So now, a lot of you have asked about very small LEDs. We did it. You ask, we deliver. Look at this baby. Look at this baby. And that is, my friends, 1.5 ounces. That is 1.5 ounces. It's like an earring, basically. So we got 1.5 ounces. What's the next one that we have up? We have 3, 3.5, 4, 5, 6, 8. And yeah, Sam was mentioning, wow, 10 ounces. Yeah, no kidding, man. This is Connecticut River outgoing tide LED. Okay? That's what it is. I don't know if Hudson is going to be as bad, but this is Connecticut River. But goddamn, I mean, it's like I'm watching porn over here. Okay? The quality of the LED is phenomenal. And don't think that we just do it the first time they come out like this. No, ma'am. We have to sit down, get a couple of different samples, make sure that the coating is applied correctly, that the mixture is right. Sometimes the shape of the LED might change the quality, what's in the coating. Because if we're gonna do a method LEDs, which we are selling, that look just as sexy as this one, the coating on it is slightly different. It might not appear like it, but we wanted it a little bit more sticky, basically, for the puck bait, which most of the people will use around it. But again, those are the LEDs, guys, that we are doing right now. This. I mean, this is just, oof. This is sexy. So those are the LEDs. They are in production right now. It's going to take us a couple of, Is it gonna be a couple of months? Yeah, I think we're gonna have it end of October, the earliest. I know this is gonna be the tail end of the season. But yeah, so this is coming, and we have a third one on the way. I'll get to that one when we have it, because that one is going to be the most exciting, I promise you. We just have to finish developing it because it's a you know what to develop. All right, so let's move on with the program. So that is the sale that you have up top, right? 25% all the attractants. And I'm gonna drop you a link again. We have like that Billy Mays commercial. But wait, there is more. Hold on, let me drop you the link again with that for those of you who just woke up. Okay, so that's there. And then we have a promotion. Promotion is different because it means you buy something and you get something else for free, right? So I know that the liquid attractants were very popular recently. Or my munchkin is here, Lee. Hi, Lee. Good morning, sunshine. So the promotion that we have going on is for, and those are doing a solid work right now, pineapple fusion boilies that we have. You get that. We've done that promotion before. You buy, watch the link drop right now. You buy the pineapple fusion boilies, you automatically will get the $17 matching liquid for pineapple fusion. So you can soak them in it and get more of that juice to be released. I'm gonna post that promo. That is the one. Okay, buy pineapple fusion boilies, get free pineapple liquid. Those are really nice. They have been selling well. They have been catching fish. I hear from a lot of you guys who got stuck on those boilies, even though I want to move you to something else so you can try it. But hey, if it's working, right? So, link is just dropped in the description. Oh, Wildwater USA on YouTube is commenting, the only LEDs I've used since they came out. Love them, and the new ones look even better. Yeah, look, I promise you, those LEDs, and again, remember, you have LEDs similar to those on the market. You can look up Corda Big Gripper. Okay, they have something similar to that. I absolutely love them, and those are phenomenal. They have our logo on it. Moving forward, whenever we can, because we cannot put our Carp Angler logo on it on every single LED. Not all of them have the shape that will allow us to do it, right? Like we cannot do it, for example, on the method LEDs, right? Too many holes in them, and there's nowhere to put it. But solid LEDs, we're gonna start doing this. See the Carp Angler over there? So you know that this is our LED, okay? It's really top notch. So anyway, back to the promotion. Buy pineapple fusion boilies. The link has been dropped. Get the free liquid, okay? Let me catch up on some comments, guys, because I'm rambling over here like I had too much coffee and I'm not reading comments. Todd is watching 2 videos at once. You cheating on us? Seriously? Okay. Noel is ready for the weekend action. Todd is getting ready for the CCC. Wildwater USA says, maybe I'll finally be able to cast 140 yards with those sharp-looking distance LEDs. Yes, so remember, we have oval, without the chopped edges, distance LEDs on our website already that we make. So those will definitely let you cast a $140 over there without a problem. So get on the website, they are there. All right, so that's the promotion, okay? So we have that going on, and then don't forget the sale. Okay, so you got 2 things going on, a promotion and a sale. Right there. Okay. Okay. So we have those going on. Now, we have spent so much money on getting the new products. We are borderline irresponsible. Okay? I'm going to drop you the link, and I'm going to mention a couple of those to you. So, hold on. Facebook, here you go. New arrivals. YouTube, new arrivals. All right, so let me jump to our website. Let's take a look at those new arrivals, right? So the big one is new bait boat from the Boatman. So up until now, we've had the $250 Octar bait boat, the basic one. And then we had the $1,200 with fish finder and GPS. So some of you have been asking for the GPS bait boat without the fish finder, which obviously will make it cheaper by quite a bit, okay? So we got it for you, okay? I have a handful of those coming, probably in about 3 to 4 weeks, but it's not that many that we have coming. And we have them in a sexy camo color, okay, that you have not seen before. So I'm gonna drop you a link for those, but if you want it, you better pre-order this because I have a feeling they're gonna be gone before they arrive. If that's gonna be the case, we're gonna order more, that's fine, but we have a very small contingent of those coming up. So I just dropped you a link. So those are basically the same, this is the same bait boat like the basic one, but it has a GPS and the autopilot, right? So you will automatically return home. It will save up to 16 bait spots with the GPS. So you can, mark down your favorite spots, not just on one spot, one river, one lake, but multiple ones, because you have 16 of them that you can save. Jace is asking, when does the promo end? Promo is ending at midnight Eastern time. Same thing with the sale. Coupon code is there for 25%. And the other one doesn't require a coupon code. It automatically will pop up in your shopping cart. So back to the bait boat. A lot of you have asked about that one because that one is now priced at $600. Okay, $600. That's half of obviously the one with the fish finder because fish finder is that much more expensive. And it's twice the price, more than twice the price of the basic one that doesn't have GPS. But look, if you're baiting up somewhere, if you have your steady spots, shit, get the one at least with the GPS because it will always drop the bait in the same spot. Sometimes you can have bait dropped in one spot and then a little bit more from the other hopper because it has the dual hopper, for the bait. And it holds, I think, close to 3.5 pounds of bait. So it has quite the capacity. So that's the new arrival, right? What else do we have? Because we went completely nuts sourcing new things. We got so much, we are ridiculous. We got a couple of different bivvies. We got Voss jacket and pants that are completely waterproof for those nasty winds and nasty rain that is coming in. We have those caps for from Carp Angler. We call them dirty tracker caps. Okay, that's what they are. The most comfortable one I have worn in a while. Okay, so I love this one. We have actual cold weather hats from Thinking Anglers. More bivvies. We have rod carryalls and rod cases. We have slings and cradles from Nash that we brought. And then, ooh, this is exciting. Paste. I'm gonna drop you a link to the paste because this is going to be really catching fish. So check the link right now I send you. That's for the paste, right? So we got them from the DT baits. Paste is obviously not pack bait, although application of it is somewhat similar, right? What I like to do is you take a little bit of that paste and you literally put it around your boilie or whatever hook bait you are using, right? Put it around that. It doesn't very quickly dissipate. You will be releasing those attractants out there, and it's very approachable, so the fish can peck at it, okay, get a taste at it, and will be that much more confident to take it in. So paste is phenomenal, and they are matching most of the DT, I think all of the DT boilies that we carry. So take a look at the paste. I just dropped you the link. Let me drop it on YouTube as well. Yeah, it's right there. All right, so the paste. And overall, I mean, we have added, I think, like 200 products um, just in the past month, I think. I mean, we went completely nuts. So we're stocking up definitely for you for the fall season, and we just want to get ahead of the game before the spring even comes. So now, let's talk about a couple of other things about what grinds my gears, and let's talk about fall fishing, right? So let's get rid of that. Let's talk about what really grinds my gears. Two things today I wanted to mention. I'm fishing an overnight recently. I'm on Delaware River. I'm in PA and bow fishing, right? So I know we talked about it before, we mentioned it before, but it really irks the crap out of me when it actually happens to me yet again. So I'm sitting there, I was fishing with Brian Santos, we're doing the overnighter, and 1 o'clock in the morning, I can hear that unmistakable rumbling sound, like something is hovering right over the water. Sure enough, I pop my head out of the bivvy, bow fishing boat. This one was one of those fancy ones, right? Lights blasting everything. Luckily, he was right across the river on the other bank, across from us. But they were shooting and they were catching. And I don't know if this is the reason or not that the spot suddenly doesn't produce as much fish, but those fuckers were catching them, right? The worst thing is that it's very poorly regulated, at least in PA, the bow fishing. And so the best we could do is, we had our headlamps on. So I was like, Brian, get your headlamp on. Because some of the aspects of what they were doing, blasting the lights, where people are living, and all that stuff is against the regulations. So we put those lights on and we started shining them toward them. I would like to think that they basically don't want to be doing this and wondering if there's some game officials or some other authorities out there looking at them. So we started blasting the lamps at them to make sure that they see us, that there's somebody on the other side of the river. And for that reason or not, okay, they went up the river and they came back without going on our side. And so they left. Obviously that, for a little bit that killed the bite, or so we think. And obviously they caught some fish over there. But yeah, that is annoying. You know what they're gonna do? They're just gonna shoot it, leave it floating in the water. They're not catching one or two and just taking it, harvesting it. So that really pissed me off. And then to make matters worse, I recently posted on our Facebook group the officials from Pennsylvania post their bulletin. I forget what the bulletin is called basically, and they throw in there, okay, stop invasive carp headline. Now they are not talking about common carp, but the headline alone, you know how people are, right? Nobody's gonna be reading, okay, the article underneath it. People are just gonna look at the headline. Oh yeah, the carp are invasive. And you know what's going to happen next, right? And the mantra continues, and the stereotyping continues, and people are just being, pricks and everything in between when they see carp. And then you wonder why the fish gets no respect. So yeah, thanks PA, Boat Commission. Thanks for that. So somebody should, really ring them. When I get a chance, I definitely will, but it's been absolutely ridiculous reading that. The way it was worded, it was as if they want people to just not respect the carp as potential game fish or a fish to begin with. So yeah, that pissed me off. But yeah, so that's what really grinds my gears. Those two topics, PA commission is really not helping, and then the bow fisherman, when it really affects you when you go in for that overnight session, putting, blood, sweat, and tears, so to speak, over there to catch the damn carp, it really pisses me off. Let me catch up on the comments. Lee says we are lucky in Connecticut. Yes, you are. The DEP are right on law breaking with bow fishing. Yep, not in Pennsylvania, I'll tell you that. Poor information on species of carp. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But, the Pennsylvania Commission is really not helping. I mean, they're just perpetuating the bullshit that has been there, circulating between, bass and other game anglers for years now. So they're really, really not helping. So anyway, that's what it is. I don't want to even go deeper into this because I'll be just rambling and getting pissed off about it. But, hopefully with times, things will start changing a little bit. So now, remember, let's talk about and Stephen, by the way, about the paste. Yes, we have Superfruit and Cold Water Green Beast in the fruity flavors as far as the paste goes. The Cold Water Green Beast is a fruity flavor. It's right in between Lee Hearn and whatever other fruit you can imagine. That's how fruity it is. So now, let's start about the fall fishing, right? So all of us are probably starting the campaign slowly. And the question is, what rigs are we going to use? What baits are we going to use? And I know we had those debates about boilies versus pack bait. And this is going to be becoming very important starting October. What happens is the water is still kind of warm, but it starts cooling off. So what's going to be working in October might not work very well in November, and vice versa. So I got the most recent Carpology magazine, and this article right here, that caught my eye, right? Because I have my 2 weeks trip starting, on a Sunday right after the CCC. And it talks about boilie fishing, but it also, you can tie general ideas when it comes to baiting and fishing in fall using other baits. So Danny Fairbrass, who's very, very, very known, is talking about the boilie fishing. And, a couple of questions really caught my eye. Like, one of the questions they ask him, Carpology asked him, is, what are the advantages that using just boilies bring? They mean boilies versus bits and pieces, which is could be pack bait, could be your tiger nuts, corn, those little bits and pieces, right? And so I kind of knew or assumed that already, but he's actually clarifying that unless you have a water where there is no nuisance fish, he tends to go straight boilies and only boilies. No corn, no tiger nuts, no nothing. Now, we all know you can catch carp on just about anything, and a big one at that. But we're talking about, statistically speaking, so to speak, right? What gives you the best chance? So now it depends what you're looking for. If you're looking to just have a lot of action, go with the bits and pieces approach, right? It makes sense. Like Fred says, you can go with cattle cubes, corn, and other particles, and then add chopped boilies and move over to straight boilies. Well, I don't do that just for one reason. The spots that I fish have fall fish, and they have smaller carp as well. So for those spots, and I'm not interested in the 5, 10, 15 pound, well, maybe 15 is where it starts, but 5, 10 pound carp, I'm not interested in it most of the days. So I go straight boilie. It doesn't mean that you have to use a ton of boilies. But you know what's going to happen? You drop those particles in there, there's going to be a feeding frenzy between different species of fish, and a lot of them smaller, as well as those fast-moving, ferocious, smaller carp. Okay? So you're going to have a competition for the food between many more fish. So your likelihood of catching a big one out of there gets dramatically lower. Not that you cannot do it, but it gets dramatically lower. So if you go straight boilie approach, what's gonna happen? The nuisance fish are not gonna either come because that bait is too big and stick around. There's not going to be a feeding frenzy between smaller fish, and the big fish have a better chance of finding that, including your bait, and getting hooked, getting caught. Okay, so he agrees with that, and obviously the guy speaks with certain amount of authority, I would say, right? They ask him, do you think that boilie only approach has a tendency to produce bigger fish? And he says absolutely. And this is what I'm talking about. You have less competition for the food, and the bigger carp have a better chance of basically getting caught. Just because the outside noise, meaning the smaller carp and nuisance fish, including catfish, is almost not there. Now don't get me wrong, you can put a 24 mil boilie and still catch a small catfish. It has happened and it will happen. But the likelihood of it to happen over and over and over again is smaller. So we're just improving our odds basically. Then again, it's all about what you are after, you know? Yeah, like Fred says, I like catching all the fish plus the big ones. There you go, perfect example. If you are after that, yes, bits and pieces and then boilies should be your approach. If you want to skip the smaller ones and just focus on the trophy fish, then boilie only approach is what Danny Fairbress and, well, frankly, many others are recommending, right? Nuisance turtles as well. Look, that helps too, right? You know, if you're gonna put that corn on the hair, you're gonna have more issues than with a 24 mil boilie, which can take a couple of good chumps by the turtle and still be a viable hook bait, right? So there is that. Then they ask him, is boilie only fishing an approach you keep for a campaign, longer campaign, or is it valid also for a one-off visit? And he explains that one-off visits are just as good for boilie only approach as they are for the campaigns. Fish very quickly recognize a better food source, right? Boilies typically will have more nutrients than your, you know, corn would just blow straight through them, or even tiger nuts, which is more of a snack to them than anything else. So that's very interesting, you know. And now speaking of how to bait it in the fall, so I'm reading what Danny Fairbress is doing, and it's interesting. It's how I started doing this after debating this with a couple of friends earlier in the year. He doesn't dump, especially in the fall, all the bait in one spot, one small perimeter. He spreads it over a wider area. Okay, not only he spreads it over a wider area, he's actually fishing, the actual rig will be somewhere on the outside of it, right outside of it. Not in the center of it, but on the perimeter somewhere. The reason being is that the larger carp is believed to be slower moving, a little bit more wary and cautious, and is not going to be feeding as quickly as that smaller carp who just will jump straight to the middle of it more ambitiously and start devouring everything, right? So that was interesting. And then I'm reading his methods, right? So he's talking about boilies versus pop-ups and the time of the year for them. So Danny Fairbress is saying basically that, which makes sense. He is switching to pop-ups late in the year or very early spring. Okay. Through his, I'm gonna call it studies, okay, over the years, he finds that carp are going after that brighter bait when they are feeding less. Okay, so when their metabolism slows down a little bit, is a little bit slower, they're not in the midst of that crazy feeding that happens typically, right before spawn, and I guess right now in October, I would say, when the water is still warm and the fish is bulking up basically for the winter, with plenty of food still being available. He says when they are not feeding as much, that's when he puts a bright pop-up, usually glugged in some other attractant that will be releasing more flavors. And then he can fish it over a bed of a small bed of boilies or other bait, because he's saying that when the carp is not feeding as aggressively, they will pick and choose, okay, what they will eat first, second, and third, okay, over some spread of food, rather than, like right now, still early October, just go after everything, right, and not discriminate. So when the carp are more picky, when they don't have that much appetite, that's when you go for pop-ups. Other than that, bottom bait, like in October, I believe will be much better. Okay? Fred is right. Big carp are more known to pick up single baits compared to eating them like a vacuum. Yes, they are. I agree with that. Simon says that the roach and bream are his worst fishing pests. Yeah, that's in UK and in Europe. Over here, fall fish, right? Fall fish are the absolutely worst of the worst. And what I noticed when I was fishing on Delaware River or on Connecticut River, the moment we put a pop-up on, fall fish was almost guaranteed. I think Lee was the last one catching it when he was using, I don't know if it was a pop-up or a smaller boilie, but the moment I switched to a 24 mil boilie, no fall fish. I remember fishing with James on Delaware River, it was the same thing. The moment you put a small pop-up, fall fish and other nuisance species. So it's very interesting article. By the way, I suggest that, if you can, it's not actually very expensive to subscribe to, to the Carpology magazine. I'm just trying to see what else over here I highlighted. Yeah, that's in a nutshell what it is. And yeah, look, you don't need to toss a ton of boilies, right? You can just toss, 15, 20 boilies around, okay, and then have your hook bait somewhere on the perimeter, and you're done. But for that, use the larger ones so you don't have to worry about some fall fish or something else eating it too fast. Go for 24 millimeters, which are very popular, by the way, anyway, in our store, and bait with those. And then every single time you recast it, maybe put a PVA with 4 or 5 boilies inside. A typical bag of boilies, I have to count it at some point, how many boilies you get over here. But that is a ton of boilies, and those are in a 24 millimeter size. And that's a lot of boilies. If you're gonna use it that way, that's gonna last you quite a bit. I had pack bait that was more expensive than that. So yeah, I think it makes sense. Simon says fall fish and channel cats. Oh, and Maryland blue crab. Yes. Let me catch up on some comments, guys. Zach says, referring to me complaining about the Pennsylvania, Fish and Boat Commission, that they used to have the pictures of the invasive carp. Yeah, it's no longer there. It's just they talking about the invasive carp, but a regular person or even a fisherman will not know the difference if they are really not into carp. They're just going to assume all carp are invasive, and next time, instead of releasing it, they're going to kill it because, oh, well, it's a pest. And, it gets perpetuated by the goddamn PA Commission, and it's really not helping. Lee says that he's catching well right now using dull colored baits over dull, loose feed. It's working very well. Yeah, I think Fairbrass was talking about it, um, that he is using quite a bit of natural colors, and at certain times of the year you just know what works better, right? Like white colors for me have been working spring, summer, fall, period. White is always working, but red, pink, red, fall. Fall is the best time for red. So Scopex, Mega Spice, especially when catfish are a problem, Mega Spice is your go-to. It's phenomenal. Summertime, I'm going with mostly whites and yellows. Whites and yellows. And then November comes when we're gonna have, at least New York, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, the tail of the season basically, might start switching to some really bright colors, some really attractive pop-ups and some smaller baits maybe, glugged really well to have that fish go for it before it goes for something else. So let's see what Fred's got. I think that if you're baiting long term with boilies, you're going to get bigger fish and probably more consistent bites. If you're only on the swim for a few days, I think particle and pop-ups is the way to go for fall time. So I partially agree. Pop-ups and particle late in the fall. I would do it late in the fall. I wouldn't do it right now in October. Right now, I'll be going straight boilies because you got too much catfish. Catfish are still around. The water is still too warm for catfish to go away for the winter. They're probably gonna take another 2-3 weeks at minimum to really start going away. So I wouldn't go with the particles just yet. Well, in the spots where I'm fishing, and the fish that I'm after. But if not even the fish, the catfish is the problem. So I'm not going with particles just because of that alone, right? I think boilies are gonna go a little bit longer until catfish go away, which I think is going to be second half of October or late October in most of the places when that water temperature drops quite a bit more. So yeah, so that's my fall fishing. I'm starting on Sunday my little campaign and vacation, so I'll be doing 24 mil boilies exclusively. Okay, Cocoberry Pink Diamond is going to be 90% of it because it has proven this effective. I'm gonna be taking Mega Spice with me because if I'm gonna have a catfish problem, and this was suggested to me actually, it's a great idea. I'm going to start with Mega Spice. I'll toss a bunch of Mega Spice over there. Let the catfish, who unlike carp, have stomachs, okay? Get some, heartburn with it, and hopefully disappear from the area. Because, they'll eat it to some degree, but they really don't like spicy. So that's what I'll do if the catfish are still a problem. Yeah, and the Rafa is, I'm gonna give you a like on your comment. Yeah, that was his idea. That was a great idea. Sometimes you need to listen to others, to give you good idea what approach to take. So that's why including me, people should never assume that whatever you think, even if it's working to a large degree, don't think that it's always the best idea. Always listen and be open to what others are telling you. And I know we all stuck in our ways, but it really goes a long way if you just pause sometimes and think, especially if you're listening to people who really have the background to give some advice. You know what I mean? So yes, so Rafa was right. If the catfish is gonna be a problem, start with the Mega Spice. Get those suckers hopefully filled up with it and give yourself a little break. Lee says that he cannot buy a bite at the moment on fluoro-colored bait. What did I just say? That's why I just told you, fluorocolor bait, leave it for late fall. I would leave it really for late fall when the carp are so picky that you want that to be really standing out from other baits, including what you're baiting with. Okay, where they're going to be very selective what they're gonna put in their mouth next. So Jace is asking, what does Mega Spice smell like? Well, maybe Lee will explain it best because he was the brains behind designing Mega Spice actually. He actually was working on it back in the day in the UK. And so this is kind of his baby. And yeah, Bun Spice is probably the closest way to explain it. There are some really secretive flavors and scents in it that we cannot tell you because we would have to kill you. But it does smell like a little bit of a cinnamon. It's not cinnamon, but it smells like it. So, yeah. And I think that's gonna be a nice, anti-catfish bait. Skork on YouTube is asking, what is your favorite fall flavor for boilies and puck bait and particle mix? Well, so I'm gonna go with more natural colors. And aside from Cocoa Berry, which is working absolute magic, okay, I would be going with those. So this is specifically formulated by DT Baits for colder water. So as the water gets colder, you want to go with something like that. Now, Cold Water Green Beast is formulated to release the attractants proper way when the water is cold, which usually is not conducive to that, right? And what else? And Blend. And Blend is proving to be very effective this time of the year. You see the non-flashy color on it? Let me crack it open, why not? Oh, Jesus, this smells like magic. Okay, there. There. That's End Blend. So, End Blend and Cold Water Green Beast is what I'm taking to the CCC. And I'm glugging this in the matching liquids, which, speaking of the matching liquids, remember we have a sale going on them today. 25% off on all the attractants. I'm gonna drop you a link one more time before I forget and before you guys forget, because 25% off doesn't happen often at all. So I'll drop you both on YouTube and Facebook the links, jump on it until midnight, 25% off with this coupon code. And you got the Cocoa Berry Pink Diamond Liquid, Pineapple Fusion, and all of that shebang. Before I forget, this is what you get for free. You buy Pineapple Fusion Boilies today, you get the free pineapple liquid. So bear that in mind. It's a deal of the month. Okay. Lee says he's fishing spam on the Waggler in the CCC. I told him, if he's gonna fish spam, okay, and if he's catching catfish like he usually does over there, okay, he needs to take the Pro Staff hoodie that he has inside out so he's not showing what team he's on. So, I mean, although that's gonna be a duel between Lee and Sam for the Catfish King of New York or Connecticut, for that matter. So yeah, that's gonna be interesting. We should go live when we're doing the CCC. Why don't we do that? Hey Lee, should we go live during the CCC? We can talk some smack. Hopefully we are pegged together somewhere next to each other. So that's what it is for the fall fishing. Okay, so to recap, boilies only doesn't mean you have to use a lot of them, and spread them over a wider area. Fish around it, not exactly in the dead center of it, if you're going for that bigger fish. Fish larger sizes, at least 20, 22, 24 millimeters or even larger, if you want to avoid any nuisance fish like fall fish, catfish, or smaller carp. Okay, so it depends on the swim and depending what you want to catch. And aside from white-ish colors, I would avoid flashy fluoro colors, crazy reds, crazy greens, crazy pinks until water gets really cold. Where the carp will be feeding on only those baits that really stick out because they're not going to be consuming daily as much as they normally consuming right now when they are still trying to bulk up. So, other than that, cold water green beast with matching boilie dips, mega spice, if you want to avoid catfish especially, and you got Scopex. All of those are phenomenal right now. And then remember, start switching to the flamboyant colors probably toward the end of October. Don't do it yet, okay? And that might go a long way in making sure that you catch something bigger and better, unless you want a bunch of bites. Let me catch up on some comments, guys. And see what we've got. So Jace is asking about pineapple fusion, and Damian is asking about pineapple fusion. Yep. So Lee's saying that he's been fishing on it. James, Brian has been fishing on the pineapple fusion. Yeah, look, they work. I don't have them with me right now, but they work. They are some of the best pineapple baits I have certainly seen. So, speaking of bait, so shipping on a Friday and arriving a few days later, we're gonna have the sweet corn boilies getting released. That's right, you heard it right. It's incredible that all the bait companies out there and nobody was doing a sweet corn boilie. Not in recent memory, because I've heard of some company or two that was doing a sweet corn boilie. And it's going to be yellowish color. It's going to be on a sweet side. And it's going to have a lot of corn flavor packed inside of it. So, carp can be picky, especially if they are not used to boilies that much, right? To bridge that gap, we made basically corn flavored boilies. We have them created, but they are not on the website yet. I'm waiting for the actual shipment to go out, and then we will flip it on the website, because a lot of you have been asking for those sweet corn boilies. Unless what we can do is, hold on. I will release them right now, so if anybody wants to pre-order it, I will let you. Well, what the hell, right? But just remember, it's going to be with me in about a week. So you're gonna have to wait about a week to get it shipped. Just give me a moment. I'm going to the back end of the website so I can flip it for you. I wasn't supposed to do this, but what the hell? Okay, where is the, oh, and by the way, they are relatively cheap. Okay, relatively cheap. So they're gonna be coming in multiple sizes, so you can really pick and choose. Okay, can't believe I am doing this, but let's drop it. Fine, world release happening right now. Ready, guys, for it? There, I'm dropping you a link. You can be the first ones to order sweet corn boilies. Let me just purchasability, make sure that everybody knows this is coming in a week or so. 27th is 29th is a Friday. So let's say the 6th. Okay, I turn it on, guys. You can pop on the website, and for the first time for many of us ever, order sweet corn boilies. Such a simple idea, I cannot believe that there isn't more of those available. Brad says he used a sweet corn boilie at Del Hollow 3 years ago and did well. Yup. Brian is asking any soluble boilies. No. Here is why. I'm going to show you something. So, those are some solubles that I got from another company, right? So those are coconut cream, right? So those are coconut cream. Now, those solubles, I have tried them at the lake house in spring, okay? So I tried the coconut cream, right? They're falling apart. So I'm not blaming the other company that is making it, okay? They make good boilies, right? But solubles, I think, are extremely difficult to make. So I not only tried because I got the coconut cream, and I got more. I got strawberry, right? Come on. I got strawberry solubles, and those are pineapple solubles, right? So no matter which ones I tried, and I was cursing at them, they falling apart. I put them on a hair, an hour and a half. They got so saturated with water, right, that they became like a sponge from inside out, where you could like squeeze it and they just fall apart to pieces, right? So there was like zero confidence in fishing them. So that doesn't mean, it's not the company's fault, I think, okay? It's not the company's fault because, I'll be honest with you. So Carp Max, we don't carry Carp Max anymore, right? We decided to go separate ways. They make phenomenal boilies, right? I mean, they're gonna be our main competitor when it comes to quality boilies. They just good, period. And everybody knows that they catch good fish. So I'm not afraid to, I'll give them credit obviously where it's due. And they've been doing this for a long time. But when it comes to solubles, right, don't like them. Pop-ups, they fine. Boilies, they obviously very good. Solubles, don't like them. Carp USA was trying to, I think, do solubles. I think I've seen it last year or the year before. It was the same issue. Okay, it was just falling apart. I don't know if, I know it was a Carp USA. I don't know if they were trying to do a wafter or a soluble that behaved like a wafter, but it was just a disaster, right? So I tried it myself. So, but look, this is not on them, I think, because I think solubles are just that difficult to make, right? So if we can make a soluble with DT baits, we will make it. But they're just not coming out right. It's not that I'm taking a stab at Carp Max that their solubles are not good. Hey, at least they made it, right? We never attempted to make a soluble so far because we don't have the know-how yet how to make a soluble. And if it's not going to be something that is really going to be working well, we're not doing this. Because it's either going to be competing to be the best one on the market, or I don't want to do it because then we're going to take a hit for creating a product that doesn't really work very well. Robert says, you must have a bad batch. I use solubles from Carp Max many times and they just get smaller over time, not falling apart. Maybe, okay, maybe. I still have some, so I can always give it another go, but maybe you're right. Maybe it's just a small batch that was that was not good. Look, stuff happens, right? Which is, which is odd because, even though we don't carry their boilies are top notch. Okay, that's gonna be a good competition with them. Everybody's gonna be on their toes, including us and including Carp Max, when we're gonna be, competing for every angler on the market. So, but yeah, solubles, I think they are just that hard to make. Because Carbide USA, whatever I tried was not good. I wasn't crazy about them with the Carp Max, and then we don't know how to make it good enough that we can make it. So there you go. At least they tried, right? So yeah, no, I'm not knocking them. Let's not get it confused because I hope it's just a bad batch. We definitely need solubles on the market. We're gonna get them, sooner rather than later. So we're gonna get the solubles done. But for right now, I don't have any that work for me. Okay, so obviously I tried a few different flavors and have little confidence in it. But again, I think they are just that hard to make. But hey, kudos to CarpMax for at least, making them. If they're working for some of the people, that's great. I'm sure that, feedback like this one is going to be received and, they're going to probably improve on it. So it's going to get only better. Good for you, good for everybody else who wants to fish solubles, right? But yeah, when we have something to offer you in solubles, we will do it, trust me. We're just not there yet, okay? We're just not there yet. So far, I think it's gonna be Thomas driving that train of solubles. I just need them better quality, period. If it's a bad batch, well, I hope that's what it is, but obviously that's what happens. You try them a few times, if it really doesn't work well, you're gonna skip it and wait for something better. But you're not gonna get it better if they're not gonna keep rolling them and trying. So my advice to Thomas is roll some more. Get them out there, push them to the market, and hopefully they are actually good. Because hey, if they roll solubles to the market and if they are really working, people get more hooked on them. People get more used to the solubles. We will be more inclined to release a line of solubles as well, right? We need to make sure that there is a market for it and not just few anglers in the know that prefer them. Make soluble boilies for baiting. Use same flavor boilie for regular boilie for hook bait. Yeah, that makes sense because if Carp had a preference, I think that they would go for a softer boilie, right? All things being equal, I think they're gonna go for a softer bait. I think that makes sense. Now, they do like the crunch. Okay, so boilies do have an advantage in that aspect because you can pack a little bit more crunch to it. You can do it probably with a soluble too, but not as effectively. So, both have advantages. It's good to have options though. It's really good to have options. So yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna be giving them a go. Maybe I will because I have those, I think, 3 small jars remaining. So, might as well try them instead of throwing them out, right? But it's definitely not gonna be when fishing overnight, when you cast that, that evening rod that is going to be there for more than a couple of hours, right? So, yeah, no. Actually, at nighttime when I'm fishing, I'm usually putting a hard hook bait on. And for a couple of reasons. One, because I know it's gonna stay on the hair pretty much no matter what until the morning if I wanted to. And 2, crayfish, catfish, whatever it is, unless they give me a run, they can keep knocking it, and I know I'm gonna have a lot of it left. So I have much more confidence in fishing overnight when putting either a good boilie, good quality boilie that is not going to just, crumble or fall off the hair, or a hard hook bait. So And Robert is right. Definitely not for the overnight cast. Yeah, yeah, that's definitely true. Same thing with pop-up. I tend to fish them on a screw. I don't. I'm too lazy sometimes to put them on a bait floss, so I put them on a screw. I would never have the confidence to fish overnight with a pop-up that is on a screw, because you know what can happen. A pull or two, that pop-up can come off pretty easily if the carp pulls it without actually pulling the hook in its mouth. So, Robert says, but they work phenomenally when swim is hot. Yeah, no, I believe it because there's a lot of good stuff about fishing with solubles. It's just one of those things that it hasn't worked for me very well. Maybe I got a bad batch. But it really hasn't worked for me. That stuff was just like a sponge that it can just press and it would be falling apart. But look, it could be just a bad batch. Could be a recipe that they could have improved on since then. Because everybody knows that their boilies are top notch, right? So solubles should be there too. But I'm suspecting that they not doing the solubles for as long as they're doing the boilies. So that's where the boilies are, the ones to beat sometimes. And maybe solubles is just a new thing on the market. But hey, Thomas should keep going with the solubles, keep making them better and better. And, let's create a market for it, and then I'm going to create some other options. So let's see. We'll see what we'll do. I have definitely, plenty of options to fish for the next 2 weeks, but I don't think solubles are gonna make much of a cut. Maybe it's going to be just for crap and giggles to put it on and just see if it lasts. But I think I'm gonna be going, boilies 99% of the time. I don't even plan on fishing any pop-ups for the next 2 weeks. That's not happening. Besides, if you watch those underfishing videos, Google that, search that on YouTube and on Facebook, underfishing videos. This is the guys that put a lot of underwater footage, out there showing you what the carp does with the pop-ups, with the boilies, with the wafters, etc., and a lot of missed bites. And this is why I don't fish a pop-up unless I feel like I really have to. You see what happens? He takes it from the top. The fish takes it from the top. You don't have that, that gravity like with a bottom bait when it gets picked up, where it's sliding down the lip, because the carp is positioned, horizontally rather than vertically. So it works much better with a hair rig. And so I think that this is always going to be my go-to rig, especially until late fall, where I might be putting 1 or 2 rods on a pop-up, and then 1 or 2 rods, obviously the remaining one on a boilie. But until late fall, don't touch a pop-up. Don't probably even worry about the soluble. This is the time where the fish are bulking up. Baited with the right stuff, they will come. Okay, and worry about solubles and pop-ups probably late in the fall, when they're becoming very picky, when they are not, bulking up as much and eating as much. So that's my advice. And, when I'm reading, from some of the top world anglers, it seems like there's a consensus among them on when to switch to pop-ups and those high-vis baits, right? So that's very interesting. You guys should really subscribe to the Carpology magazine. I really like it. A lot of cool stuff over there on a monthly basis. What else we've got? Most of their feeding is done on the deck. That's where I like my hook baits. I only use pop-ups when conditions force me, or I'm fishing dead of winter when metabolism are slow. Bingo. That's exactly what I was talking about, Greg. Don't touch the pop-ups or the solubles, which I don't have much confidence in to begin with, until late fall or very early spring. Don't touch them is my advice. Okay? Those other 2 times, early spring, late fall, go bonkers with it. You know, that's exactly what I would do. Let me catch up on some more comments. By the way, I think that when I'm going to be at the famous lake house, I think we're gonna go live from over there. So hopefully we get some runs while we are live. I'm gonna get myself mic'd up, so if I run to the rods, you can still hear me, we can still talk, and you know, you can get some audio and video action footage live. That would be pretty cool. I hope that the bite is, you know, is gonna be pretty good. Well, we're definitely gonna be baiting, you know, and so I think it's going to be pretty cool, pretty neat. To do a live from there while fishing. So anyway, those are my methods, okay? Those are gonna be my tactics for the fall. And let me know what else you're gonna be doing. Ooh, let's see, the Lee Hearn. There's some descent going on over here. Not always, Greg. I fish a lot with the air pressure dictating where the fish are feeding. Good point. Sometimes a pop-up off the lead is deadly when the pressure is high. Interesting. I haven't considered that. I really don't go that deep when deciding on the pop-ups and versus boilies. You know, I kind of pick a method. It works. I kind of stick to it. Unless the specific venue dictates it, or the boilies are simply not working, then I might switch a rod to a pop-up to see if the carp is basically in some fancy mood and wants to go after something flamboyant. Greg says, zig and midwater fishing is my enemy. I want to hear, who is zig fishing over here? Because last time I think I zig fished was probably over 20 years ago, right? You obviously cannot do it effectively on a running river, but maybe in some eddies, maybe in some, you know, coves, or obviously still water. But god damn it, I haven't done zig fishing in a while. And it's a very effective method because, you know, sometimes you're locking bites. If you have a bait boat with a fish finder, run it. And sometimes you'll see the fish suspended, you know, 10 feet off the bottom, let's say in 20 feet of water. What do you do then? You know, they really don't want to come down to the bottom, you know, where your bait is. So that's where zig fishing comes into play. I need to try it another once or twice to get myself re-familiarized with it before we do a live stream about it. Or maybe we do it with Lee at some point when we're going to do it together and we're going to laugh at each other how we're screwing this up. Yeah, it's all about finding where the fish are. That's right. But for that, I mean, fish finder is usually the best option to do it, right? So anyway, this is my methods for the fall fishing. When the live stream ends, let's keep the chat going about this, okay? Remember about the exciting things coming up. 10 ounces, okay? You can either fish with it or use it or use it against some, you know, intruders, okay? 10 ounces. This is gonna hold in Connecticut River and Delaware River most of the time, okay? So yeah, the new leads are coming. Don't forget about the corn boilies that we just dropped a link to. They're gonna be shipping in a few days, okay? But, those are going to be an absolute smashing hit. Okay, sweet corn boilies. I dropped you a link again because I am more excited about it, I think, than a lot of people. Sweet corn boilies. Again, sweet corn. Okay, so simple. This is going to be deadly. This is going to be deadly. Okay? And Brett says Vermont floodwater weights. Yeah, absolutely. 10 ounces. You know, we've been missing in the store 8 and 10 ounce leads. This is gonna be it. We have them in 10s and we have them in 8s. You know? So again, if you're looking for quality leads, everybody, jump on our website. Everything is just over $2 per lead, and the quality cannot be matched, right? I'm not gonna throw it at the floor and start lead gate number 2, we've already seen the proof, okay, how they compare versus many others. But yeah, we simply put a lot of work into it, and it pays off. Hard work pays off most of the time. So anyway, guys, so remember about the sale going on. 25% off all the attractants. I'm gonna drop those links again, and then in a minute we're gonna say our good nights, but we're gonna reconnect directly from the lake house during one of the probably couple of live streams that we're going to do from over there. So that's the coupon code, and the link was just dropped. And the other one that is a promotion, buy Pineapple Fusion Boilies, get the liquid for free. The liquid is for $17. Okay, so you're getting a pretty good deal. I'm just gonna drop it for you. He says, don't do it, Greg, it's a trap. And the link to the Pineapple Fusion has been dropped, right? Yes, it has been dropped. For those of you who are not following us on YouTube, do me a favor, guys and gals, if the girls are watching too, hit that link that I just sent you. Subscribe to us on YouTube. We're pushing quite a bit of content most of the time on a weekly basis. Our pro staff are really great at it. Todd is releasing some really cool videos. We have quite a bit to watch over there. So the YouTube channel link was just dropped in the comments. Subscribe, hit that notification button so you get notified when the new videos drop and you stay up to date. It's getting really, really entertaining over there. So some of you, I'm gonna see you at the CCC on a Saturday. With most of you, we're going to reconnect on our next live stream. It's probably not going to be scheduled because it's going to be weather dependent, since we're going to be doing it directly while we're fishing. So we're just going to probably pop in live. But for that reason, make sure you're following us on Facebook and YouTube so you know when we are going live. Okay, this is going to be really cool. Simon says he needs a bear spray. That's right. Everybody should have one. Everybody should have one. So anyway, stay well, guys. We're going to keep in touch. We're going to go live within the next week, probably, I suspect. I just want to make sure. I'll try to do it on a day where the fish are actually keeping us busy. Okay? So we can have some action and we can talk, smack on the live stream while I'm struggling with some carp over there. So let's hope that's the case. And oh, by the way, the Sam says that the CCC 2023 are posted, the pegs. Okay, time to take a look and pull out the cheat sheets with the pegs. So, but anyway, we'll be going there to have, I think, more fun than fishing and catching up with friends. So let's see who gets lucky over there. All right, everybody, it's been a blast as always. Take advantage of the sale and the promotion. 25% off doesn't come around very often. And some of you, again, I'll see you on a Saturday. The rest of you, we're going to catch up on the next live stream.